Hey everyone, Bill from MOTOTIPZ. Today I want to discuss how to ride a motorcycle on the freeway for the first time. Alright, so getting on the freeway. Alright, first off I need to make sure I have space. I'm going to put on my signal. I'm looking and over my shoulder. This truck's giving me some room. Checking my mirror, make sure he doesn't move up. And then continuing to move over. Just want to find a clear path here. Be careful as the car is coming up. If they're going really fast, I'm just going to let them go by and I'll get behind them. So just real smooth and easy transitioning to the next lane over. Watching for cars passing you that are going faster. If they're going faster, just let them go. Don't try and squeeze in front. Alright, and then ride at a pace that's comfortable for you. Right. So first thing is you should have some level of comfort with your motorcycle. Alright, you shouldn't just go out, ride for 15 minutes, hop on the freeway and be doing 75 or 80 right away. You need to have the ability to be calm, to be aware of your surroundings, to be comfortable. If you're super nervous, it's going to be difficult. Yeah, the first time you may be a little nervous, but you should be in control of your motorcycle. Alright, in Southern California, most of the freeways, as you can see here, I'm doing around 75, and that's the speed of traffic. So speed limit 65. I need to be able to move with the speed of traffic. If I'm going 60 or 65, you're gonna have people riding your bumper right on top of you, and it's not safe. So you need to be able to go with the flow of traffic. And whenever you merge onto the freeway, you need to get up to speed quickly so that when you're entering a lane, you're doing the speed limit or close to it. That way people aren't running over you from behind. Alright, when I want to change lanes, I need to check my mirror, I need to check over my shoulder, turn on my blinker, and change lanes. And I do it in a deliberate way so people know that I'm about to change lanes. As soon as I made that decision that it's clear, I'm moving over. If it's your first time changing lanes, be careful of oversteering and going too far over. So you want to make that a smooth motion. Alright, it's kind of easy if you're not used to changing lanes to press a little too hard and wind up all the way off the road. So as I get to that far position, I might need to counter steer the other way and keep the bike from continuing to turn. I don't want to go outside of the left lane onto the shoulder. The shoulder is a place you don't want to be because look at all this. There's all this debris and crap there. Alright, if you're over there, it's a bad spot to be in. You're going to run over crap. You're going to pick up nails and screws and other stuff in your tires. And then there's going to be loose material. I don't want to be over there. And also, on both shoulders, you may have a car stopped or something else over there. You don't want to run into that. Sometimes you can't see it until you're right up on them. So make sure you're avoiding the shoulders. Don't ever use the shoulders to pass. The only time you should use the shoulder is if you have an emergency and need to stop. So, and the best thing you can do on a motorcycle is actually get off the freeway, take an exit, and then if you need to work on your bike or do something there, you have a flat tire you need to deal with, take care of that. Other thing I need to do while riding on the freeway is constantly looking ahead. I see these cars are beginning to stop. I shouldn't be waiting till the last second to apply the brakes. Alright, I gotta look for two things as cars are slowing or stopping. I gotta watch for what's in front of me, but I also need to keep an eye on what's behind me. Alright, I need to be checking my mirrors. If there is a car right on my bumper and I know I'm gonna have to stop really hard, I need to think of an exit path, and that might be the time I have to take the shoulder. I have to switch into another lane, but watch behind you. You don't want to get slammed into from the rear. So make sure you're activating your brakes early, if nothing else, to get that brake light on to show that you're stopping. So generally on a motorcycle, I prefer staying in the first or second lane to the left. All right, it's a little safer spot to be. A lot of times when you're over in the far right lanes, there's people getting on and off, exiting on and off, lots of stuff going on there. So that can be a more hazardous place to be, because you got to watch for cars coming onto the freeway from the on-ramps and then exiting off. And you know, a lot of times people wait till the last second to go from this first or second lane, and they'll dart all the way across right in front of you. So I would rather be over in the first or second lane, but that does mean I need to go at least with the flow of traffic. So if you're really nervous and you're going at the speed limit or below, okay, then yeah, stay on the right, but it's going to be safer for you to move over to the left and go with the flow of traffic. So if I'm going to pass, again, I'm going to make a turn signal, make a deliberate check with my head, check my mirrors, get over. There's a certain comfort level to passing between cars. All right, you need to give enough space where they're not going to feel like you're moving into their space. So just make sure that you give appropriate room when you're passing cars. Don't be the person who's threading the needle in between the cars. Again, I'm checking my mirrors pretty often to see where the cars are behind me. If I am passing, I'm doing an actual head check. I'm not just relying on that mirror. Motorcycles do have blind spots, but because there's nothing around me, it's easy for me to turn my head and my body a little bit and see exactly what's going on. So while I'm doing this, I'm in a pretty relaxed body position. My hands are on the controls. I don't have to cover the clutch the whole time. If I roll off the throttle, my fingers are ready to go to the brake. My feet, my balls of the feet are kind of on the pegs. I'm not covering the brake, not covering the gear shifter. When I want to brake or gear shift, I'll move my feet to that area. But the main thing is I'm relaxed, but I'm aware. Right? I'm aware of who's behind me, who's to my right, what's going on up ahead. If I see cars slowing, I'm thinking ahead of time. So if it's your first time, I would recommend getting on the freeway for an exit or two and then exit off. Take a breather and then go back on, go a little further. And as you get more comfortable, you know, try switching lanes all the way to the left, all the way to the right. But you probably don't want to go at rush hour because there's going to be a lot of cars around and a lot going on. And it's not fun getting stuck in traffic. So your first time on the freeway, go in the middle of the day, go on the weekend, where you're not going to have to deal with as much traffic. And then the other thing is, if you have a riding partner or someone who's been riding for a while and a good rider, someone you can trust, let them lead you onto the freeway. And then, you know, kind of watch what they're doing, how they're riding, and that'll help too, having someone around to kind of guide you your first time. And then as far as positioning in the lane, kind of depends. There's two schools of thoughts. One school of thought is that you either pick up the tire tracks on the left or the right, because that's where the roadway is going to be clean. In the middle here is where there could be some oil or stuff from people's cars, and the tires aren't really rolling over the middle of the lane as much. So a lot of people like to avoid the middle, and they'll pick either the left track or right track. To me, on the freeway, it doesn't, you know, really make that much of a difference. Typically, I'll stay in the left track, but sometimes I'm in the middle. So kind of it's whatever is comfortable for you. The right track, you got to be careful because you may not be as visible. You're more likely to be in someone's blind spot if they're coming over to the left. But the same holds true if you're in one of the right lanes. If you're close to the left edge, you're going to be more in their blind spot. So, you know, there's reasoning for both, and really it's wherever you're comfortable in the lane. So one other thing to think about is I don't want to ride right next to cars, okay? If they have to move over or come into this lane for some reason, and also right here I'm kind of in their blind spot. So typically like to either go a little slower or a little faster than the car beside me. I don't want to be kind of like riding right beside them. So that's something else to think about. Just make sure you vary your speed a little bit so that you're not caught in people's blind spots. For your first freeway, I would also pick a freeway or interstate that you're familiar with, so you're not have to look at your GPS, figure out where you need to go. Go somewhere that you already know, where, what the road's like, where there's congestion, where there's turns, where the exit's going to be on and off. So pick something that you're familiar with. That way you don't have to look down at your GPS or phone to try and figure out where you're going. If it's something you're already familiar with, that's going to give you a lot more comfort. You're not going to have the distractions of the GPS or phone. And then, as you get comfortable on the freeway, then set your destination, go as far as or as long as you want. If you are taking long trips, I recommend every hour take a break. Stop somewhere, stretch your legs, get some food, eat a snack, hydrate. If you're on the motorcycle for more than an hour or 2 hours tops, you're going to get worn out really quick. That little break every hour is going to help re-energize you, and it's going to help you maintain focus. You don't want to just be zoned out on the freeway for 8 hours. You're going to get tired, you're going to get exhausted. Being on a motorcycle is different than being in a car. You are going to get tired. You're having to pay attention. Yeah, some motorcycles like mine have cruise control, but I still got to be focused on what I'm doing. So last thing to kind of talk about is if you're riding with multiple people on the freeway. Alright, give yourself plenty of distance from the person in front of you. Don't be right up on top of them, because if they have to react to something, either swerve or brake hard, you're not going to have the time to react. A good thing to do is kind of stagger. So one in the left track, one in the right track, a car length or two back, and then back and forth like that. If you're really confident and capable riders, you can ride side by side. There's nothing wrong with that, but if you're going to do that, make sure it's someone you're comfortable with and trust, and that you've practiced riding side by side. Right? Because you don't want to go around a curve or something and that person run into you and push you out of the lane or bump you. Right? That's not safe. So build up to that. That's something you shouldn't be doing your first couple rides on the freeway, is riding side by side. So, well, I hope these freeway tips help you. If you haven't done it before, definitely get out there and ride. Build up your confidence. Be comfortable on the motorcycle. Being able to ride on the freeway is a skill that you need. Alright, so let's talk about exiting the freeway, alright? So I don't want to wait till the last second to get over, so I'm getting over before my exit. I'm watching the cars around me, because this is probably the most dangerous part of the interstate. Getting on and off is going to be where you're going to have to deal with, the other traffic issues. And other people like so. And then people, a lot of times they don't care about letting you over, and find an empty space, make yourself, make sure it's clear, and then squeeze in there if you have to. I hope this video was helpful for your first time riding on the freeway. Thanks for watching. Make sure you hit the subscribe button, and if you have any questions, leave them in the comments below. Get out there and practice and go ride. Thanks for watching.